Hey, good morning or good afternoon, Drew. How's it going? I guess morning for you, afternoon for me. Hey, it's great to see you.
There's a few left. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You're just a little choppy, so we'll see how the quality goes.
Yeah.
Not as good this week as last, but hey, we reviewed a book recently. Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt, and I guess
Maybe you'll have to hold it up. Mine gets blurred out. Best year ever.
yep,
Who
Best Year.
doesn't want that?
Hey, actually, hold it up there again. Maybe push it in and out. I don't have a hard copy. I did mine via Kindle. Yep, there you go.
No, imagine that.
Yep. Uh,
Yeah, best year ever. Michael Hyatt. We have his journal, which is quarterly for us, but I found that to be very beneficial. So I thought it makes sense that we are. Yeah, there you go. You got the journal right there. I don't have my journal with me,
yep.
but that it makes sense to review his. How do you get to this point of strategizing to have your best year ever? You know, you can't have your best life ever until you start having your best year ever.
Well,
Because,
and I would even take that further, right? So best year, then he has this journal for the quarter, and then if you go to like Seven Habits of Highly Successful People, that book was written on trying to organize your life in weeks. But I also believe you got to get it down to the day. That's the small brick. You got to try to do masterpiece days, and that's how you can build that castle. But
yeah. Yeah, you start with big goals and look backwards. I'm kind of reminded that there's this motivational speaker that I really like. His name is Les Brown. And he tells this story where he walks into this office and he says, it's a job. The guy goes, no, Les. He goes, no, you're right. It's going to be a great decade. He goes, life. And, to make the point that, we're not or one great year. I'm after a great life. However, in order to have a great life, I have to break it down into years, weeks, quarters,
yep,
days,
yep,
hours, even.
yep,
Keeping our focus, and that's what I like in this. In the journal, it starts out. What are your big goals? You got to know where you're going. Progress only starts. Here's one of the first quotes I have out of this book. Progress only starts when you get clear on where you are right now.
yeah.
And I profound clear on where you are right now to get to where you want to go. So there needs to be a clarity in the moment.
Yep. No,
Yeah?
yeah, I think that's really good. I liked how he also dissected life into those 10 different domains. And he said spiritual, intellectual, emotional, physical, marital, parental, social, vocational, avocational, and financial. And then he said, hey, don't just make one or two or three goals. You should really make numerous, potentially 7 to 10 goals, because you really should be trying to change your life in general, and be pushing yourself across all domains, and not just be limiting yourself. So I thought that was a pretty good point that he made too.
Yeah. Hey, you have a whole in your hands, but you can hold more than just one or two, right?
Yeah.
Playing cards, you could easily hold the 10 cards in your hands and be looking at them. And, the main thing is to be looking at them, be looking at your goals. So that's one of his big things that I'll dive into right now. Smarter goals, what are they? S, they are first specific. They are secondly measurable. Actionable means they are action oriented. They're risky, which I thought, he scraped and clawed to kind of, use that R word as risky because, he even said in there most people think relevant, but that they excite you, which is that they're time sensitive, which goals you have to put a time frame on them. They excite you, and they're relevant. Those are the smarter goal system. And so I like how he builds a framework, about how to frame your goals. A year ago, matter of fact, September 1st, 2022, I had gotten my blood at the last prison I was at. And the doctor called me in and said, wow, your bad cholesterol is way out of whack. And 20 plus years of processed prison food, it kind of like caught up with me, because I don't eat anything fresh.
Yep.
And she said, I want to put you on a statin. I want to put you on medication. And I said, no, wait. Give me an opportunity to try to self-correct. And I wrote down in the journal, that by September 1st of this year, my LDL would be under 100. And then I wrote down exactly how I was going to do it. This was long before we read this book or even got this journal, but I knew that I need to write them, and that became a workout journal. And then I just got my blood results back a couple weeks ago, and my LDL was 98, under 100.
Nice.
Yeah, and I really celebrated that, but I recognize, even as I read this guy's book, how I got specific. I made it measurable. I took action on it. Necessarily risky, but it was time sensitive, because in my goal, I said, no, in 1 year. If I couldn't do it in 1 year, then I was going to look like that. Well, yeah, and I can do this. And so I think, people just need to take a look and say, hey, if I really focus, if I organize my life the way I think, I can do this. So I like the smarter goal system. It worked for me.
Hey, that SMART acronym has been around in the business world forever. Trying to make smart goals, and so I've heard it before. He expanded on it because he added that extra E and R. So it's really nothing new. Maybe then he didn't have to cite anybody else, because he twisted it a little by putting the risky in there. But yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I reflected on it too. I'm like, okay, when do I use goals? When has it personally benefited me? And a lot of times, like in the military, we would actually write operations orders and say, okay, but we'd call them objectives, but very similar. And we'd say, we're going to do this by this time. We're going to do this. And it would be measurable, actionable, time oriented. And when you spend the time, especially with others, and write out those actions with those deadlines, that's how you make stuff happen in the future. And the epiphany for me is like, oh, okay, so I'm willing to go and do this in the military, or Honeywell has different frameworks. I'm doing it inside of Honeywell for various things. Why aren't I doing a better job of this personally in my life? And work on making my life better. And so, to me, I've been doing it organizationally, and I'm like, okay, it's time to do it for myself. And so I used the state planner, and I wrote them out. I got them prioritized. Some of them are habit goals, some of them are achievement goals. I thought that was pretty worthwhile. And I have a little system that I can assess myself for improvement over time. So to get that measurable aspect in there. So to me, that was pretty good.
Yeah, when you get to the end of his book, just like any book, they right? My wife, or in this case, his daughter, and what is that? None of us accomplish anything in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Talks about two different types of people: scarcity thinkers and abundance thinkers. And I wasn't threw on my running shoes, got the motivation I needed, and took off. And with each lap around the track, my LDL dropped. No, it was largely a result of the people that I surrounded myself with. Back at Stafford Creek, we had this group of guys. I lived in odd. Even though you're the one that was in the military, but they drafted me, so I got to go over there. But I like this group of guys, and we had this little workout team, and we called ourselves jokingly, Team CrossFit, because we had that goal, that level of fitness. Uh, but our workout philosophy changed, and we didn't want to just strength train; we wanted strength and endurance, and so everything was coupled with a couple of miles plus sandbag work, medicine ball throws, pull-ups, push-ups, burpees, run. And it was these guys that had this abundance thinking, that helped me reach my goal. And I like how he brings in here the fact that, hey, you need the right people in your life. And that kind of goes back to the progress only starts when you get clear on where you are right now. Not just where you are, but who you're around.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to level up your team. Matter of fact, one of his triune goals, I didn't write down the page number in the book, but I like back to these action steps in the back of the book. He says, connect with your why. And I had kind of, wrote this in our triangle shapes. Connect with your why, master motivation, build your team. And I think that's what you and I have already become a team with this thing we're doing. I look forward to the people that we'll be able to draw in our life that take us to that next level. So whether it's like your marriage, your finances, entrepreneurial things, fitness, you have to draw out the abundance thinker in yourself. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I like the abundance thinking. I think is key too. Because you want to get rid of those limiting beliefs, and so I recently wrote out some of those that I have. Like my ankle's all tore up because of too many years of mistreatment in the army. My limiting belief is like, hey, it's never going to recover. I'm not going to be able to run again. No, that's limiting.
Right.
I need to change the way I'm thinking. I need to take care of it. I need to start building it back because hey, I'm not dead. The thing can actually grow back. So I need to change how I'm thinking. And so I think you got to write out those limiting beliefs. You need to have develop associated liberating truths that you can believe in that'll start pushing you towards growth and maybe healing in my instance of my ankle. And a lot of times we get comfortable and we start limiting ourselves just because of the ways we're thinking. And what really I'm going to start trying to use, maybe I already do it at the dinner table, like around the family. Whenever we say grace before we eat, we go around the table saying what we're grateful about, right? And I think having gratitude, sessions of gratitude in your life pushes out all those negative thoughts. And what you need to do is try to do that a bunch. I'm gonna start trying to do that in my morning journal. Is just say, hey, what am I grateful for? Flood your brain full of the positive things, because then you start identifying the opportunities. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm grateful about this, but hey, that means I can do this. Instead of reminiscing on the past, regurgitating negative occurrences, catastrophizing. He has a bunch of other limiting beliefs in there that you can, put on yourself and hold yourself back. And it's better to really set your attitude on the right azimuth.
No, that's really good. The funny thing is, this morning before church, I was outside having coffee, a bit of dating, and sat down with me. Not many people were outside at that time, but one of these guys, he's been down for 10 years. The other one, 19, and then me, I've been in for this is my 24th year. Talking about, how do you not only survive but thrive that deep into a sentence where most people just fall off the cliff of negativity, right?
Yep.
And it really comes down to finding. Sometimes you have to fight to find the things that you're going to choose to be grateful for. And I really like how by journaling 50 things that he's grateful for. He begins and ends every day with prayer, He has a practice of thankfulness, and he journals gratitude. And he's like, wow, that's like a whole workout. That's like shoulder press, flies, shrugs. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know what I mean? Like if you say, hey man, I want to do chest. Well, you're not going to get on the bench and do one rep in one position. Matter of fact, we're going to do incline, decline, flat. You know, you want to develop a muscle, you got to hit it from multiple angles. And I like how this guy, like, hey man, if I want to develop that overcomes that thinks the good in the midst of a difficult situation, I got to hit that from multiple angles. I just can't
Yeah.
be positive once throughout the year and think that that's going to sustain my growth. You know, Has to find this in the Bible, and I find it even in books like this. And I know we only got 5 minutes left, and there's no way to really cover, um, all that this book has to offer. But he says he has a narrative about life. What am I telling myself about life? That's an important narrative. You're yourself. Is what happens is of little significance compared with the about what happened.
Wait, say that last sentence again.
Okay, what happens to us is of little significance compared with the stories we tell ourselves about what happens. I
Ah,
forget who he attributes with that quote. That actually goes all the way back to Shakespeare, and before him, I think it goes back to Plato. That's an age-old wisdom. It's not what happens to us; it's about what we tell ourselves. What happens to us is what determines our core narrative. My core narrative is what determines a majority of what my interactions are.
yep, yep.
You know,
It shapes.
I know we could kind of jog leg out of that, but
Oh yeah, it
that's an
shapes.
important thing.
It shapes what you perceive. It shapes what you see. Like some people go around in life, looking for when they're going to be insulted. And sometimes I catch myself, you know, exhibiting some of that behavior. Like, really, you said that to me? What the heck? But if you're looking for that, you're going to find it. But if you're looking for goodness and grace and positive aspects of life, then yeah, it's going to totally take you down a different path. And
Yeah.
yeah, I really like that quote. So I'm going to write that one down because it's that narrative that really matters, and how you interpret it. It's the what things mean again. By Tony Robbins.
Yeah, yeah. What to think, what things mean, and then finally what to do. Tony Robbins talked about. That, in my opinion, and this is coming from a guy who I've never been on the internet. I've never held a smart anything device, right? But that's what I see as a main problem in society, through the social media, is that people are telling you what things mean
Yep.
rather than you decide. The world might say it means that, it just doesn't mean. And that's where you have to have your core, your life narrative, your core philosophy, and that's the gratitude element. And thinkers, having the right people in your life, helping frame the right mindset. Because, right? You tell yourself when life hits you, oh, I'm a loser. I suck. Clearly, I can't fight. I can't do the game of life. Or you do tell yourself, hey, this is part of life. And lastly, I'll give you the last quote that really hit me good. It said, people lose their way when they lose their why. And that goes back to Viktor Frankl's quote, which he took from Friedrich, that he who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. Because that's one of his big things in this book is your why. That's what's going to help you with your goal achievement. That's what's going to help you with your life's purpose. Always keeping why you're doing this in front of you.
Yep.
All right, a minute and a half left.
Hey, I've enjoyed starting doing this quarterly journal with you. It was good to read, Michael Hyatt's book. I think that help him, frame or create this journal. and it's already making a difference for me. And based on talking to you, I think it's been good for you as well. And I know we're going to keep on iterating in either this version of journal or choose some others. And I think it's going to be a great couple years ahead of us, if not the rest of our
Yeah,
lifetimes. Cranking away
yeah,
on activating our utmost potential, and for the duration of our existence, and trying to have positive impact on others.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you, man, and thank you for spending your hard-earned money and getting these books and journals to me. It's not coming out of my bank account, but I appreciate you, man, and I believe that we're driving towards something great. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I know as we pursue greatness, we'll draw greater people into our life, and ultimately we want to leave a good legacy for our families and our loved ones, and uh, build up wealth in this life so we can give it away because we
Yep.
can't take it where we're going. I love you, man.
Hey, I love you too. It's good to see you, Drew. Hang in there.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, get a good workout in this week, man.
All right.
I'm gonna go do it today. I got a new team CrossFit over here, so we're pushing each other to grow.
All right.
All
That's
right, love you,
awesome.
buddy.
I love you too. Talk to
Yeah.
you later.